I just wanted to show you some points of installation for Setra's SRPM room pressure monitor. First, you'd remove the cover. Installation would come through a junction box with your pneumatic and electrical lines. You have a removable process head for you to be able to add your pneumatic lines to it. You'd bring your power connections up to here. You have your available door alarm switch wiring here. You have your remote annunciator and relay out wiring here. You have your back net protocol wiring here, as well as your available analog output connections here. Once you're done, put the cover back on and go through the installation. Now we'll walk you through the setup of the Setra room pressure monitor. The main screen of the unit is a touchscreen. It is a color touchscreen and changes color to indicate the status of the room. Green indicates a normal status, yellow indicates that the door is open, and red indicates that you've met your alarm condition. You also have the opportunity to set this up for occupied and unoccupied, which is indicated with no isolation. You would also have the opportunity to set the unit up as a positive room, negative room, or a neutral room. You have your pressure reading, as well as your upper limits and lower limits, your silence button to silence the audible alarm, menu to reach your setup menu, and reset when you have a latched alarm condition. Now we'll go into the setup menu. Available on the setup menu is a setup for the unit, for the room, for your alarms, for your back net. There's also a self-test function as well as a calibration. What's available to set up on the unit would be your supervisor password, which limits access to any of the functionality once you've set the password. You have the ability to select your analog outputs of 4 to 20, 0 to 5 volts, and 0 to 10 volt output. You also have the opportunity to change your engineering units, selectable from inches of water column to pascals to centimeters of water column. You also can set your display averaging to allow stable numbers to be shown on the screen. To set up the room, positive room, negative room, or neutral is intelligently determined by the two values that you put in, the upper limit and lower limit. If they're negative values, it will be a negative room. If they're positive values, it would be a positive room. If it is negative to positive, then it will be a neutral room. The supervisor password function limits access to the occupied and non-occupied functions. To set up alarm, you have the ability to latch your alarms, which means when it is latched and you have an alarm state, you will need to come to the unit and reset it. Just getting out of alarm condition will not reset the unit. You can turn your audible alarm on and off. You have your selection for door alarm input. You also have a mute timeout, which is how long you want the unit to be silenced when you hit the silence button, as well as an alarm delay and how long you want the alarm condition to be there before the actual alarms get set. You can also change the volume on the audible alarm with 4 stages. Now the back net setup. You have the ability to put in a unique MAC address, a unique device instance, and select one of 4 baud rates that you need for your back net network. Also available is self-test, where you have the opportunity to come in and test your alarms to make sure that they are working. And you can cancel that. You also have self-test information that tells you that during power-up, everything passed. And in the calibration screen, you see the present value of the measurement that's being measured, and you have the opportunity to calibrate your zero and calibrate your span. To calibrate the 0, you need to be within 5% of 0. To calibrate the span, you need to be within 5% of the full scale range of the unit itself. When that's complete, after a short delay, you'll go back to your main screen and your installation's complete.